Hello, good morning and welcome to what is going to be a full weekend of training as I continue to prepare for a sub 3 hour marathon at the end of May here in Edinburgh. Things are going well, but I must admit that this has been a tough training week. I'm feeling pretty battered coming into this weekend, but we're going to soldier on and you are coming along for the ride. This morning, 4 miles easy, 10 miles moderate, 4 miles easy, and tomorrow 20k easy. A lot of volume over the weekend and I'm definitely starting to feel the effects of cumulative volume and just general wear and tear of marathon prep. I had a half marathon best effort last weekend on Sunday, today is Saturday morning, so I'm still feeling a little bit of fatigue from that, but part of this prep is just getting more and more comfortable performing under that fatigue and adapting to it over time. So that is what I'm hoping to do and continue to do, and why when I'm feeling a little bit destroyed on my runs over the weekend, I will keep that front of mind. But other than that, I think all I need to do is get parked up, touch base with Jacob, who's going to be filming this morning's shenanigans, and then I will talk you through what the rest of the training weekend looks like on the move. Okay, 10-mile block locked and loaded. I'll wait for GPS, do the little GPS dance. Oh, that was quick. Not much of a requirement for the dance. If you're in a major city, you'll know the sort of like stuff that you end up doing, looking like a moron. It's kind of on par with the Strava tax that you need to, I mean, it happened to me recently at a race, kind of cross the finish line. You're like, okay, I'm going this way so I can finish my segment on my watch. But brief for today is 4 miles zone 2 and 10 miles at zone 3/4. with 4 miles zone 2 to finish. So pacing for the first 4 miles is likely going to be around the 5 minute per K, which is about 8 minute per mile. Pacing for the 10 mile block is going to be about 4:15 to 4:30 per K, which is about 6:45 to 7 minutes per mile. And then the 4 miles at the end will probably be a little bit slower based on my heart rate will be all the way up here and slowly coming back down. So we can review that together at the end. What else can I talk about to not begin this? Because I'm feeling quite destroyed and would probably rather just go home at this point. Weather. Do you like weather?
So, do you like weather?
You two know each other?
Mile 1, 7:07. Mile 2, 7:03. Mile 3, 6:57. Feeling smoother and steadier now. So warmed up a little bit to slightly higher pace, which is obviously good news. Mile 4, 6:56, so almost at the turnaround point, and I feel buzzing. Run is high, is flowing, vibes are high. However, fatigue and tiredness is also high, so I kind of simultaneously feel phenomenal whilst also dreadful, which I think is potentially the most indicative of marathon prep sentence I have ever uttered. See you at mile 5. Thank you. Okay, halfway through mile 5, 6:58. So we've turned around, feeling good, although maybe I should stop talking to you guys so much because my breath's just gone goodbye. Mile 6, 7:05, time for some more carbs, aiming for about 80 grams of carbs per hour today, and so far, feeling manageable. Although, I'm not afraid to admit, well I am afraid to admit, but I'm not ashamed to admit, because I'm sure we've all been there, but this is very out of date, so let's roll the dice. Mile 5 plus 2 equals 7.
My boy's wicked smart.
Don't mean to flex my arithmetic on you all here, but 6:59. I got distracted, sorry. 6:59. That was what I was meant to say. Goodbye. Mile 8, 6:49. This is a brilliant morning. I am vibing very hard. Oh no! Pew, shoot McGavin. What was that, Fergus? Oh! Anyway, let's see this through. Mile 9, 6:53. So last mile of this main set, coming in ever so slightly than I sort of anticipated I would today. But based on fatigue, general, that's all just mood and tiredness, I'd say I'm really, really pleased with how today's gone. So we'll debrief properly in my cool down. Mile 10 in, oh, my watch isn't actually telling me, I don't know. This was my mile 10 split, and I now have 4 miles easy to cool down. So I'm gonna really slow it down to start with, just make sure I keep running, no walking, and let my heart rate settle, and then see it through zone 2. Job done, and very, very pleased with that. What a difference sunlight makes to mood, energy, and general well-being. So some vitamin D for my Scottish complexion has been very useful today, but overall, data on the screen for you just here. Average pace overall 4:42 per K, and average heart rate 152. That was really, really smooth. Whilst I felt a little bit fatigued and sort of sluggish going into that, when I got moving, things felt really settled, really smooth, really consistent, and zone 3 the whole time. I didn't dip into zone 4 and felt really controlled the whole way through, which is great. So happy days. What a phenomenal morning. Okay, that's session 1 of the weekend done. I'm gonna head back to the house, crack on with some work, head to the rugby, and then I've got a 20K easy run tomorrow. So we'll chat along the way. By the way, what a morning. 2 lattes secured for myself and Erin, and I'm packing some heat. I've got a cinnamon bun in my pocket, which I'm going to demolish as well. As is tradition, post Saturday morning long runs, that is normally my sweet treat allocation of the week. I go pastry hunting, post miles hunting. No, it wasn't nearly as cool as I thought it'd be. Anyway. Rugby, actually popped back from the rugby earlier to let the dogs out, walk them around the block and feed them before we headed down the road to feed ourselves. But I didn't take the camera with me because I was frustratingly hungry and wanted to see to that before I sorted this again. So that problem has been alleviated. I am now no longer frustratingly hungry, but I am frustratingly tired and a little bit frustratingly hot in this house currently. So I will hydrate before bed as I have 20K to run in the morning, and then we're heading to our friends on the other side of Edinburgh for breakfast, which is now turned into brunch because it's now at 11:30. So that'll be delicious, but it means that I can get up a little bit later and run a little bit later, which I think will do me some good because I did feel a bit tired and a bit subdued in terms of general tiredness and fatigue this morning in my run, even though physically, in the end, I felt great. So I'm gonna get changed, maybe even get showered because I'm a bit toasty, and head to bed. Good night, see you in the morning. Good morning. Brief for today is 20K at zone 2 pacing. I'm currently 1.5K deep, moving at 5 minutes per K, but some punchy hills to kick things off out of the front door, which my breath still hasn't returned from, but much colder this morning, a bit foggy, as you can see, but nice and quiet. Legs are feeling pretty bloody good, I must say, which I'm pleased with, and it's very peaceful at the moment. Peaceful! That went very high, didn't it? Wow. I'm gonna head out towards the coast, where it's probably gonna get even colder. Maybe a lack of gloves was a bad decision. Either way, really, really pleased to have tucked myself into bed quite early last night. Up at 7 this morning, hour later than I usually would be, but just felt like I needed it after a chaotic week. And set off just before 9. Leisurely breakfast. 2 bagel thins, 2 bananas, and some honey, black coffee, hour and a bit's work at my laptop, and that's me out the door. So, not a huge amount to unfold on this run really, but let's see what happens. Okay, just over 7K deep, and that is the coastline. Coastline that I've done a lot of swimming on the channel before, if you used to watch my old triathlon videos, which are coming back very soon. Feeling smooth, feeling solid, very foggy. Lots of people in the water, which is cool to see. 10K out, 10K back. This feels a bit cumbersome today. The only reason I've got a vest on rather than my little pouch is just because it was 2 streets over in the car. I couldn't be arsed getting it, so I just worn this, but it does feel a bit more weighty today. Anyway, onwards. And that's halfway. Nothing much more to report really. What I'm going to do is see this through to the finish and debrief what the whole week of training leading up to this point has looked like back at the house. See you there. Good evening. It's been an enjoyable and action-packed afternoon since we last touched base, but before we close out today's full weekend of training video, I thought I'd break down what the full week has looked like just for some additional context. And after many, many requests from some of you on here, Instagram, etc., I am now tracking all of my training, weight training included, on Strava. So I'm going to break down the full week But all this information is available publicly on Strava. If you want to follow me on there, the link is in the description down below. Tracking everything other than the odd weight session that I forget to track. For a long time, I haven't tracked absolutely everything on Strava, but I've started doing that now because one, it's actually quite a good way of doing things, and two, some of you guys like seeing that. So, Monday, after a hard effort half marathon on Sunday, I had a push session, highlight of which was 130 kilo paused bench press, moved well, happy with that, and my shoulder is finally coming back online after a couple of months of injury, so that is great news. Assistance work, all in the 8 to 12 rep range after that. Tuesday morning, I had a lower body and pull session. Highlight was a 192.5 kilo back squat. First low bar back squat since February 2024, and heaviest back squat that I've done since getting back into squatting, having recovered from my hip injury quite recently. All of my pulling exercises were pretty basic, to be honest. Bent over rows, lat pull downs, and a few other just assistance exercises along the way. All in the 8 to 12 rep range as well. And Wednesday morning, beautiful morning here in Edinburgh, and hit 10 miles at 5:03 per K pace. Smooth, steady, really enjoyed this. It was a great way to start the day. Thursday, big one, triple training day. If you haven't seen that video, it's on the screen for you just now. We filmed the whole day. Started the day off with a track session, 2K zone 2, 10K zone 3, zone 4, 4K zone 2. So really, really pleased with that. Just over 10 miles of work. And average moving pace was 4 minutes 24 per K. Felt really smooth, really steady, really pleased with how this session felt. Into some laps of Arthur's Seat, 5 laps of Arthur's Seat in fact, which is our local extinct volcano / cycling training location, and to and from the office on the bike as well, which was quite stop-start and a bit of a harsh reintroduction into bike riding amidst traffic and stops and things like that. But really, really enjoyed it. Great to be back out on the bike and felt really smooth after hammering my legs that morning. Into what was meant to be a 2K swim that evening, but turned into a 1400 meter swim that evening as a result of the 45K in my legs from the bike and the 10 miles in my legs from the track that morning. So cramp at 1400 meters cut me 600 meters short, but I did reverse the day for daylight and YouTube filming purposes. So really, this is your fault. I'm just kidding. But at this point, do like the video so that you can, make me feel better about the fact that my hamstrings cramped up quite dramatically in a public pool. Friday, strongman focused full body session, some 164 kilo sandbag picks and carries with some box squats and some Tacculus Atlas Stone picks, along with 5x5 close grip bench press, incline close grip bench press, and some pull-ups as well. So pretty basic session. Into Saturday morning, which you have seen, 4 miles zone 2, 10 miles zone 3, and 4 miles zone 2. Into this morning, an easy 20 kilometers, bringing our total running volume this week to 81.13 kilometers, or just over 50 miles in freedom units. So that is a breakdown of how the week has unfolded, with a visual breakdown of how the weekend has unfolded. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do have any questions, please drop them in the comments down below. Please do make sure to like the video, at the very least to make me feel better about my cramp in my hamstrings in the pool, and hit subscribe whilst you're down there, because you're in the vicinity, and right next to that is the little bell icon you can ding so you don't miss any future content, because I'm feeling really, really good about my running at the moment, and I'm preparing for sub 3. So if you'd like to see what the outcome is, then make sure to turn those notifications on. Thank you very much. See you next time.